Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to come on and talk really quickly about the different ways that you can get classes on Cambly. It isn't just like your regular, this is my schedule, and then you wait for students to come in. There actually are different options. So, for example, you can open your calendar, but even there are options. There's a drop down menu where you can choose who can see your calendar. So, first, if you like, you can open your calendar to students who you have marked as regulars, students that you know will come to your class on time, students that you enjoy teaching. So, you can just mark it regulars, and all your regular students will be the first to see your calendar. Then, as the day comes closer, you can change it to everyone. And that means everyone on Cambly, Cambly Kids and regular Cambly, as long as you're accepted into Cambly Kids, of course, can see your calendar and now they can book with you. And this is usually a good way to go because if they're looking through the teacher profiles, they're more than likely already a subscribed student, so you know they're going to be a serious student. Third option you have if you're accepted into the Cambly Kids program is to select Cambly Kids only. And so Cambly Kids will be able to book with you. The only thing to keep in mind with this is that Cambly Kids, excuse me, I just finished teaching classes. Cambly Kids can get a class, can reserve a class with you 6 hours before class time, but no later than that. So if it's 5 hours before the time you want to teach, opening Cambly Kids will not result in any bookings. However, the catch to that is, and it leads into our next way, priority hours. Another option you have for opening your schedule is clicking on a tab that says priority hours. And as long as you have a good standing with Cambly, you've been showing up to your classes, you haven't been canceling, you should have quite a few priority hours to choose from. And what this is you choose a time, let's say 2 p.m., and it turns green. That tells Cambly, okay, Cambly, from 2 to 3 p.m., please direct students who log on and say, give me the next tutor, direct them to me. I will answer any call you send my way. I will not reject phone calls during that hour. And so during priority hours, this is where a lot of the trial students are calling to try Cambly out. So these may not necessarily be serious students. Sometimes you get kids who are playing or adults who are just looking to have a little fun. So thankfully, you do have the option when they are a trial to keep their camera closed until, based on the conversation, you feel comfortable opening the camera. Then you can click it open and you can see your student and decide if this is somebody that you're going to continue classes with or if this is somebody who you need to ban because they are being inappropriate. So that can happen on priority hour. But what I wanted to say about priority hour concerning Cambly Kids is if you're a Cambly Kids teacher and it's 10 a.m. and you open a priority hour for 2 p.m., the chances are very high that a Cambly Kid will book that priority hour with you. What happens is when you open the priority hour, now it shows up on your calendar as available. And regular students on regular Cambly as well as Cambly Kids can see that availability. Cambly Kids are able to book with you on your priority hours up to 2 hours before class. So you are rolling the die if you're hoping to get a Cambly Kid when you open up priority hours. You're rolling the die. The chances are really good that a Cambly Kid is going to sign up with you. I'd say 80% of the time that I open up priority hours ahead of time, I get Cambly Kids. But sometimes that 20%, I do get an adult, a trial student, or somebody who's already signed up with Cambly who signs up with me. Sometimes I open the priority hour right at the beginning of the time. It's about to be 2 p.m. in 2 minutes and my kids are busy. I have an hour that's open. I have some other stuff on my computer that I need to work on anyways, or I have a book to read. I will go ahead and select priority hour a couple minutes before it starts. Now, in that case, because I didn't give students time to find me, I'm just logging on, a couple things can happen. If it's a busy time with Cambly, I could be taking calls that whole hour, call after call after call. I blink and the hour's done. Or it could be crickets. It's not a busy time with Cambly, and I'm working on other stuff on my computer, or I'm reading my book. I'm working on my crafting project, whatever it is that I brought with me. And Cambly guarantees that if you don't get any calls during that hour, or at least if you don't speak for at least 15 minutes with a student, they will pay you for 15 minutes of your time for being there for the hour. I will say, in the year I've been with Cambly, that has never happened. I have always spoken to people more than 15 minutes. Some priority hours have been slower than others. I think my slowest one, my talk time was 39 minutes. So I didn't get the full 60, but trust me, I made use of those other 21 minutes. I had other things to do on my computer, that like cleaning out my email and stuff. Um, so anyways, there's priority hours. And then there's just making yourself visible. So this is not something I recommend if you're just starting with Cambly. If you're just starting with Cambly, you're going to want to open priority hours, get to know students, and find your regulars, and then you can just open up your calendar and those regulars will start booking with you. However, another option you have is, if you're around your computer anyways and you have time, if somebody happens to call, you can make yourself visible. It says visible to, and there's a drop down menu. You can choose visible to regulars only or visible to everyone. So I recommend doing this once you have your rating, and it's a good rating. Uh, and you have maybe some reviews on your profile, some testimonials, you have those listed on your profile. This will up your chances of getting phone calls during the time that you've made yourself visible. For example, this morning I had some stuff I needed to do online. I was going to be here anyways, and I had a class in half an hour coming up. So I logged on half an hour early and I started taking care of my stuff. And I said, I'm just here and this isn't time sensitive. I can finish this later if need be. I'm going to mark myself visible while I continue doing my other stuff. If somebody calls me before my class, great, I made a little extra cash. If nobody calls, that's okay. I still have things I need to do. So I made myself visible. Now, keep in mind, when you make yourself visible, it's not like priority hours. Cambly does not guarantee we will pay you for 15 minutes of your time. This is all just on you. And so I marked visible. I started working on my things. I worked for like 5 minutes. And then somebody found me and they called me. And it said, so-and-so has requested you. So they saw the tutors that were online. There's a page. They can click on your profile, they can watch your video, and then they can decide to call you. And it tells them this tutor will be busy in X amount of minutes. So this student called me knowing I had a reservation coming up in 25 minutes. So I took that caller. It was a fantastic class. We talked about cooking and all the vocabulary that goes along with cooking. It was so fun. This person was from Turkey, and I got to find out about some Turkish dishes, and I got to share some dishes that I cook. And so it was a wonderful conversation. And I think I finished just a couple minutes before my reservation was supposed to start. So as soon as it finished, I marked invisible. I did not want anybody else to call me because all I had was a couple minutes before my class was going to start. And that's always awkward, to try to tell someone who's trying to learn English, I have a reservation, who's about to call me. I can only talk to you for a couple minutes. I would rather just avoid that whole thing. And so I made myself invisible, went, grabbed some more water, came back, and logged on so I could take my reservation who was about to call me. So those are the different ways that you can take classes with Cambly. It's really flexible because not only do you have the traditional calendar method, but you also have two ways to just hop on if you have extra time: priority hour and making yourself visible. I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to write in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm very happy to answer them as long as I know the answer. All right, everyone. Well, it's Friday, TGIF, as one of my students in Korea was so happy to tell me today. I love when they learn new phrases. They are always so happy to show their teacher. Well, TGIF, everyone, have a great weekend, and I will more than likely see you next week. Bye.